In terms of raw power, both the tablets are pretty evenly matched. We have got the iPad 10 Gen, the old trusty Apple champ, and the OnePlus Pad 2, the newcomer that is trying to make a splash. Let's see how these two tablets stack up against each other. To be honest, I really had a tough time deciding which reigns supreme among these two amazing tablets. But depending on your needs, the OnePlus Pad 2 might not be the right choice for you. More on that later. So don't miss this video, as by the end, I promise you'll be able to pick your side. My name is Prithviraj and I create videos on productivity, tech and life. Before we get into the performance of the two tablets, let us kick things off by checking out the design of the two tablets. The iPad 10 Gen has that classic Apple look, sleek and minimal. It has got that all aluminum finish. The bezels are a bit thicker in comparison, but it's still a very good looking tablet. The OnePlus Pad 2 on the other hand, well, this one has got a bit more personality. The design is bold and it feels very solid in hand. Also, the bezels are pretty slim in comparison. Overall, I must say, I personally feel that the OnePlus Pad 2 looks and feels more premium in comparison. Majority of the tablets in the market often try to copy the look of an iPad, as after all, it is tried and tested and loved by a lot of people. Hence, it really felt refreshing to see a different design on a tablet. I really like the camera placement of the OnePlus Pad 2. Both the tablets feature a USB Type-C port. However, you'll get better file transfer speeds on the OnePlus Pad 2, as this one supports USB 3.2 Gen 1. So when comparing with the 10 Gen, you can expect a faster copy-paste speed here on the OnePlus Pad 2. The iPad 10 Gen is a lot lighter in weight compared with the Pad 2. This is primarily because OnePlus 2 features a larger screen as well as a larger battery. The iPad 10 Gen features a 7606 mAh battery, whereas the OnePlus Pad 2 has a 9510 mAh battery. Hence, as you might have guessed, I got a better battery life on the OnePlus Pad 2. Also, the Pad 2 charges really fast, I must say. We get a 67-watt charger out of the box, but the battery on the iPad 10 Gen was great as well. This is because iPad OS is much more optimized for the hardware. The iPad can survive a full day of usage on a single charge, whereas the OnePlus Pad 2 can survive slightly longer than the iPad. The iPad features a fingerprint scanner, or the Touch ID as Apple likes to call it, but that's missing on the OnePlus Pad 2. Would have really appreciated if we got the Touch ID here as well. As to be honest, the fingerprint scanner is much more convenient compared with the face unlock. Alright, let us talk about the display of the two devices. The iPad 10 Gen features a 10.9-inch liquid retina display. The OnePlus Pad 2, well, we have a higher resolution display here. It's a 12.1-inch 3K LCD display, and it also has a refresh rate of 144Hz. And not to worry, it's at a higher spectrum of the LCD display, and also everything here will feel a lot more smoother thanks to the 144Hz refresh rate. Also, the Pad 2 is a lot brighter in comparison with the iPad 10 Gen. The video viewing experience is great on both, but if you ask me, I personally had a better viewing experience on the OnePlus Pad 2. Binge watching my favorite shows on Netflix was simply better over here. Hence, the entertainment side of things will be taken care of by both the tablets. Let us discuss the sound of both the devices. I'm an audio engineer myself, so this aspect kind of keeps me hooked. The sound on the iPad 10 Gen sounds more full, as in it packs a punch in the low-end frequencies, or you can simply say it has more bass in comparison with the OnePlus Pad 2. But the OnePlus Pad is loud, like really loud. I was playing some music here and my editor thought I was playing it on my MacBook. The Pad 2 also features a stereo speaker setup. It has two sets of speaker grills, one at the top and one at the bottom as well. OnePlus also allows us to choose from different sound profiles. We are able to select the one as per our needs. But the sad thing is that the headphone jack is as usual missing on both the tablets. And also please consider subscribing to my channel for more such videos just like this one. That will really help me out a lot. Speaking of the camera, you would primarily need the front camera on your tablet. So here is a side-by-side comparison of both the tablets. So this is like the side-by-side camera comparison. Currently the sound is coming from the iPad. The iPad has a 12 megapixel front camera, whereas the OnePlus Tab has a 8 megapixel front camera. So now the sound is coming from my OnePlus Tab, and to be honest, I personally like the look of the iPad over here. The colors on the iPad look more natural, to be honest. And the colors are very weird on the OnePlus Pad 2. As you can see, it has that weird HDR kind of a look that I'm not really a fan of. I really like this one more, to be honest. Now, let us talk about the performance. The iPad 10 Gen features the Apple A14 Bionic chipset. And the OnePlus Pad 2, on the other hand, features a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, which is simply the best in its class. You won't get a better processor at this price point on any other Android tablets. It's a newer chipset and hence a lot faster in comparison. Here are the benchmark scores for both the devices on Geekbench in case you're interested in stuff like that. Both the tablets performed really well, but one major difference in the hardware side is the storage options that we have. The base model of the iPad 10 Gen only has 64 gigs of storage. There is a 256 gigs version, but that significantly increases the price. We have two options for the OnePlus Pad 2, 128 gig storage as well as a 256 gig storage option with a slight increase in price. So as far as the storage is concerned, the OnePlus Tab takes the win over here. Gaming performance is great on both the devices. I played Aspal, BGMI, Brawl stars and a few more games on both of them, and they both performed great, I must say. But the OnePlus Pad 2 was simply superior. It has a better processor, as well as the 144Hz display really makes it ideal for gaming. But the area where it totally comes down to the raw power of both the devices is for video editing purpose. You can literally edit full videos here on the OnePlus Pad 2, and it's gonna perform really well when compared with the iPad. If the iPad 10 Gen featured the Apple Silicon range of processors, which is the M series, then that would have changed the game, I must say. But since we don't have it, it lacks the power to edit proper videos here. You can surely get some basic edits done on the iPad 10 Gen, but you can do a whole lot more in the OnePlus Pad 2. But the thing is that the OnePlus Pad 2 has a major flaw in this aspect. Rather, all the Android tablets lack this as of now. The video editor I primarily use to edit my YouTube videos is known as DaVinci Resolve. We only have DaVinci Resolve on the iPad. We don't have an Android app yet. Till this date, Android tablets still lack a lot of professional apps. Procreate, I have mentioned about this app multiple times. It is simply the best app for digital art, and it's only there for the iPad. If you get an Android tablet, you're definitely gonna miss out on this aspect. OnePlus Pad 2 has more than enough power to run apps like DaVinci Resolve, but sadly, we don't have that here. As of now, you can check out other options like Premiere Rush on your OnePlus Pad 2 and apps like Infinite Painter or Clip Studio for digital art. But if you wanted to go pro on your tablet, we can do that here on Android tablets as of now. From the OS side of things, the iPad 10 Gen runs on the iPad OS, of course, and it's fully optimized for the hardware of the 10 Gen, as I previously mentioned. The OnePlus Pad 2 runs on Oxygen OS, which is a skinned version of Android. It's a great skin, but it's definitely not polished like the iPad OS. But there is one particular feature of Oxygen OS that I really like. We have two app drawers. One is the default one where we have to swipe up, and for the other one, we have this button over here. This opens a mini app drawer on the left-hand side. This really makes it more convenient as the display size is really large, so it can be easier to navigate that way. I really like this sweet feature that they have added here in Oxygen OS. Alright, now let's compare the two tablets in a student's perspective, and also let us compare the two styluses that we have. The Apple Pencil and the OnePlus Stylo 2. I really like the in-hand feel of the OnePlus Tab, to be honest. It has a matte finish and it feels really great in hand. I generally use a grip on my Apple Pencil to better feel while writing, but here on the Stylo 2, I didn't really need that. The iPad 10 Gen doesn't support the Apple Pencil Gen 2, hence we don't have wireless charging for the Apple Pencil. You either have to get the Gen 1 Apple Pencil and use an adapter to charge it, else you can simply get the Type-C Apple Pencil. But in either case, you'll have to charge them manually. But here using the OnePlus Pad 2, we can charge the OnePlus Pen magnetically. This is simply much more convenient. But the writing experience, this is where the things get interesting. If you wanted to buy a tablet for note-taking purposes primarily, then go for the iPad. You will have to buy the stylus separately, unlike Samsung tabs where you get the S Pen right outside the box. And to be honest, I didn't really like the writing experience using my Stylo 2. Many people have also commented about this issue in my previous video as well. It just feels weird, to be honest. Also, the default Notes app on OnePlus really suck. It tried really hard to copy Apple Notes. Just take a look for yourself. The pen options on both of them look suspiciously similar, and when I zoom inside a note here in OnePlus Note, it simply gets distorted. Apple has simply avoided this issue by not allowing us to zoom in altogether in a note. Makes no sense though, but yeah. Hence, you'll have to end up using third-party apps for note taking. And most of the time, these apps are often paid. You either have to buy them or get the monthly subscription. But yeah, the writing experience using the Apple Pencil is simply better, I must say. And on top of that, here on the iPad, there are a lot more options to choose from as far as the note-taking apps are concerned. GoodNotes 6 is my favorite note-taking app on the iPad. I really love it. But the Android version of GoodNotes is really bad. Like, literally. Hence, I wouldn't recommend that at all. So if you're a student, you're simply better off using the iPad. Also, I'll be creating a dedicated video on the note-taking experience here on the OnePlus Pad 2, so please stay tuned for that. And for the pricing of the two devices, I'll leave the screenshot of both the devices just right now. So what's the verdict? Which tablet should you buy for yourself? If you are a student and you're looking for a tablet specifically for note-taking purposes, then simply get the iPad, as I previously mentioned. No questions asked. It is by far better in that aspect. But if you wanted to buy a tablet for general usage, then the OnePlus Pad 2 is the clear winner. It simply packs more power, has a better display, and all in all, you can get a lot more heavy-duty tasks done on this device. Also, you will be getting more storage at a cheaper price. And even if you decide to get the Stylo 2, you can do basic stuff like surfing and occasionally taking notes with that without any issues. But for full-time note-taking, the iPad is the better option, as I previously mentioned. But the overall winner of this duel has to be the OnePlus Pad 2. So, in case you wanted to know more about the note-taking experience on the iPad 10 Gen, then let me help you with that. Click here on this video, and over there we have discussed the note-taking experience of the iPad 10 Gen in full details. See you there.